I welcome you all to the world of cybersecurity. My name is Godday Ocheme and I am your cybersecurity educator. Today I want to look at a very important aspect of cybersecurity called vulnerability analysis. It's a type of analysis that being carried out in cybersecurity that require analyzing a network to look for vulnerability. The question is, what is vulnerability? Vulnerability is a weaknesses within a network or within a system, within an organization. So that weaknesses that one can actually exploit is what referred to as vulnerability. So today we want to streamline our discussion to vulnerability in networks. There are different vulnerabilities you can see in network, such as open ports can be a vulnerability. Misconfigured firewall can actually be a vulnerability. Outdated patches and software can as well be a vulnerability. And so we have these are different vulnerabilities you can see within a network. So they want to, as a cybersecurity professional, want to learn how to carry out this vulnerability analysis to analyze a network for these weaknesses. And if it is there, what should we do? That's what we want to do today. So follow me suit if you have not downloaded, and we'll be conducting this analysis on a virtual machine. We'll be conducting this analysis on a virtual machine called VirtualBox, and that's why we'll be conducting this analysis. So please stay through as we continue. So please launch your Kali Linux, and so launch your Kali Linux. I'm using a VirtualBox, so I will launch my own. Here. I will launch it and then it will open for me. So I'll launch my Kali Linux. So launch your Kali. So this is our Linux machine, and this is called Kali Linux. So Kali Linux is the major operating tools or operating system that ethical hacker use or security or professionals use to carry out many security works or analysis. So our target today is a vulnerable machine called Metasploitable 2. So I've already installed it. If you don't know how to install Metasploitable 2 or set up your lab, please go to the previous video on the bash commands, and then you'll be able to understand that much better. So I'm launching my Metasploitable 2 machine. So I've launched the Metasploitable 2 machine, enter my login details, and so on and so forth. So the first thing you need to do is to get the IP address of your target. So when you get the IP address of your target, so we're going to get the IP address of our target now. So you get your IP address. So to get our IP address, we'll do IPA. So the first thing we want to do now is to get our IP address and validate it and check if the network is reachable or not. Just as I told you before you go into networking aspect, you need to go to your virtual machine and put it in the bridge adapter on your Metasploitable 2. Go to setting. You go to setting and go to network. When you go to network, put it on bridge adapter. So you put it on bridge adapter, it will be able to capture this, and then but that's what we will do. So before you go to you get your IP address. So when you finish that, get your IP address, IPA on your Metasploitable 2 machine, and press enter. So when you have done that, you see the IP address called IPv4. We will be making use of IPv4, which is so we have IPv6 and IPv4. So but we'll be making use of IPv4 for validation. So after I've done that, get the IP address down. So my own IP address here is 192.168.103.184. So you go to your Linux operating system and open the terminal, and then go to the terminal, open the terminal. So open the terminal and type ping the IP address 168.103.184. That's the IP address. So if it is pinging, so it can tell us that yeah, this network is reachable. So that's why it is sending an ICMP packet from our own devices, from the attacker devices down to the target devices. So you cut it, Control C to cut it. So if you want to do, if you don't want to do a ping, can you do? If you don't want to do ping, can do a ping. So 192.168.103.184. So it's telling us, can see now, say this is alive. So it is telling us, okay, this network is reachable. That's what it's telling us. It's reachable, it's connected, it's active. So whatever name you want to use for it, so it's telling us it's reachable. So the next thing we want to do is to search for a vulnerability called open ports. Now ports are actually, we have what we call protocols. Each of the protocol has a port and that it connects to, and we know what protocol is all about. Protocols is actually rules that governs the internet, and each of these rules has a port. Like we have HTTP, which is Hypertext Transfer Protocol, which is port 80. We have FTP, which is File Transfer Protocol, which is responsible for uploading and downloading of file within the server or a network, which is port 23 or point 21. We have the SSH, which is secure shell host, the telnet, and so every other more protocols and ports. So we want to check if a particular port is open or not, and the tools we want to use today is called mmap. Mmap is a port scanner, or is used for port scanning. So if you go to your tool here, your tool menu here, you go under vulnerability, you see a tool called here what? Mmap. You can either use mmap or you can use Zenmap. You can either use mmap or you can use Zenmap. So if we use mmap, for example, we launch it. So if you launch it now, it's telling you much information about mmap, what you can combine with mmap, mmap minus v minus a, and so on and so forth. So these are different options that you can use with mmap. We're just showing all different options you can use the mmap. So it says target specification can pass host name. SL means to list scan. SN means to ping scan. PN means to treat all hosts as online, skipping host discovery. PS or PA or PU or PY means port list. That is, you want to do a TCP scan. Then PE, PP, PM are ICMP echo. That is actually a UDP and then echo. And then DNS servers and also system DNS trace route. They are tracing the whole path for each host. Then scan techniques. Scan techniques will use SSS, ST, SA, SW, SM for TCP, which is transmission connection protocols. All protocols that can be used for connecting to the internet. And then also have SU, which is a UDP scan, or SN, SF, SH, which is TCP none, FIN, and also SMAS scan, and so on and so forth. As we continue, we'll see all of them. So let's get back to the work right now. Let me clear the terminal. So to scan for open port, to use mmap, type mmap, then the IP address. Our IP address here is 192.168.184. So let's start. So you can see right now, as you can see, our port is, you can see it's telling us, wow, that this port is open. So that's what it's telling us right now. This port are open. So TCP port, they are all TCP port. So port 21 is open, which is FTP, 22 SSH, port 23 telnet, 25 SMTP. SSH is a secure shell host, a port that is responsible for everything that has to do with login details or login registration. telnet and it's also a port that is responsible to maintain the services within a server or a network. The SMT is an email port, domain, and so on and so forth. So it's telling us how these ports are opened within the server, and our server is metasploitable. And also tell us the MAC address of that particular machine. So the MAC address is this, and it's running on PCS system technique and Oracle VirtualBox. So it's giving us the MAC address of the virtual box. So it's giving us another this thing here, say host, one host address, one host CAM. So that's what it's telling us. So one host CAM. So but you can see we don't know the versions of each of these services that is running. So we don't know the version of each of these services that's running. So to get the version, we'll bring in different options to it. We bring in different options. We can now say, let me open a new window here. So open a new terminal back. So open a new terminal. So open a new terminal. So we can now say nmap minus s. S means the shared or the type of the shared that we want to get the version. So SV, V is in the capital letter. Then you put the IP address 192.168.0.184. So let's check it out and see what it will give us. Say fail to resolve resolution. What is it saying? Failure to resolve. What could be the error? Failure to. Okay, there is a space here. So there's a double space. Let's fix it now. Yeah. So let's fix it. So let's fix it now and see what it will give us now. So this is, let's check it out. So this is the result it's giving us. So let's scroll up and see. So you can see it gave us more elaborate result compared to just putting a map. So you can tell, say 22 the FTP. This is the version of the FTP. Version 10 Linux Terminator post SMTP. So different versions is giving us regarding the services that are opened. So it gave us also telling us about the MAC address, also giving us service info. It's giving us the host information, about the host information. It's telling us that we are running on metasploitable local domain, and then it's running on metasploitable LAN. That means the network is using its local area network that is working within metasploitable, and the operating system is Unix, Linux, and so on. So service detection performance. So it couldn't give us the most of the service detection performance, but it's telling us that this scan was run within 14.18 seconds. So this information is giving us regarding this. So by this we know that this particular server or machine is vulnerable. And what kind of vulnerability is this? It's as a result of open ports. So let's look at another one again and see. Let's look at another one and see again. Now this time I want to use the same nmap to check if a port actually, a port can be open, but it might not be able to be, it's not exploitable. So to check whether it is exploitable or not, we'll do nmap minus s dash script. So we put vulnerable, which means vulnerable 192.168.8184. So nmap. So we want to use a scripting. So script vulnerable script to check it out for us. So let's run it and see what it will give us. So we are running it now. So let's see what this will give us. So nmap, script, vulnerable, then the right IP address. So let's look at what it will give us now. It's still loading. So let's wait on this to finish loading, so we can continue on that. So as we are waiting on this, we'll look into another tool that we can use for vulnerability analysis, and that is ZMAP. ZMAP is also an mmap, but the graphical user interface of mmap. So it's a graphical mmap. So when you launch it, so this is, so let me minimize it. So this is, this is ZMAP. So this is ZMAP. This is a graphical user interface. This is where you put your target. This is where you put the type of scan you want to do, the intent scan, UDP scan, TCP scan, and so on and so forth. So let me say we want to do TCP scan, for example. So we click on TCP, all TCP scan. So and put our target at 192.168.103.184. So when finished, we click what? Scan. So it will scan the host for us. So let's look at it here. It will start the scan. I put the result here. This is the result now. It's giving us. They said discovered open port on 22 or port 445 or 23 and so on and so forth. So this is what it's telling us. So we are doing a TCP scan, or TCP scan from port 1 to port 65,535 ports, which is the last port that we have. So you can see the result of it here. Can see the result of it. They say there are open port on all this port number. So this is the result of what we do. So, and this is, if you look at host, you check ports. If you see services, host, this is the host. Topology it covers, and host detail, and so on and so forth. So it's still on, it's still scanning. So when it finish, it will give us the, when it finish, say is initializing service scan. So it is actually starting a new scan. After checking for the port, it's checking for the service scan for us. So this is the ZMAP, a graphical interface of mmap. Another tool we can use for vulnerability analysis is called Legion. Legion encompasses, it also makes use of mPAR, but it also can be used for brute forcing attack, and also use this for what? For scanning purposes. So let's see how we use it. So let's see right now. So let's minimize. So I'll launch, go to vulnerability, and I'll launch Nicto Legion. So I'll enter Kali and let's check it out. So let's check it out. So let's check it out now. So Legion is also a graphical user interface. So Legion also make your graphical user interface. So this is a graphical user interface of Legion. So let's say if you click scan, you want to do brute forcing, click on brute forcing. So but we are doing scanning. So when you click here, is to pop up this, then you can type in your target 192.168.103.184. So from after that, you click what? Submit. So it was, you can see it now. It has started scanning in progress. So it's saying scanning in progress. So when you finish scanning, it will give us much information about our target. So it has caught, it means that we need to update it. So if it is giving you such challenge, that means you need to update it. Okay, our result is has finished. First of before we go to Legion, let us see the result of the vulnerable analysis VV Von. So can see the result now. He checked for FTP port and tell us it's vulnerable, so it's exploitable, and so on and so forth. Finish that one. So it tells us that means we know that FTP is vulnerable. Go to SSH, cannot tell more about SSH telnet. We go to SMTP, it tells us the type of vulnerability that exists in SMTP and tells us it's vulnerable. We went further to another tools and so on and so forth. So this is what the Von tell us. So let's go back to the Legion and see what actually transpired or see what happened. Let's open a new terminal and go to Legion. So vulnerability analysis. So let's click on it again, or you can update it first. So open a new terminal and update it. So let's say sudo apt upgrade. Let's upgrade it, upgrade Legion. Say it's already in the newest version. So sudo apt update. Let's update it, update Legion. Say update techno argument. Okay, sudo apt install Legion. So since it's already in the newest version, let's launch it again. Let's launch it again. So go to Legion again and run it. Let's give it a while and see what it will give us. Okay, so we'll click here. So let's put our IP address 192.168.103.184 to click on what? Submit. Okay, it seems as if it's timing it out. We'll check for the challenge later, but that's how to actually run it. Then the next one is Nikto. Nikto is actually used to check for web application vulnerability. It's actually used to scan web server for known vulnerability. That's what Nikto is used for. So just click on it, you see Nikto, you see Nikto URL, target host, and so on and so forth. Nikto version, Nikto who, vhost, virtual host for host header, and so other options you can use with vhost, prepare root value for the request, and many other things you can use for vhost. So but our target today is how to make use of vhost. Let me increase the terminal and clear this. So you do Nikto and as URL, which means the URL, and then to 192.168.103.184. So it's checking for us. You can see the type of server is using is Apache Ubuntu Dev 2. Retrieving the power header is 10 nodes, that's making use of PHP 5.2. It's telling us again checking for anti-clicky jacking within the server. It's there for anti-click jacking within the server frame option header is not present, and it's checking for content type option header if not set. This could allow user to agent to render the content on the site in a different fashion. It's checking for it and it finds missing content. It's checking for uncommon header TCN and it's found it with the list, and this is checking for Apache mode notification and so on and so forth. Web server return value response with junk HTTP. That means HTTP hijacking is possible within the server. It's checking for the PHP info, so it's checking for the PHP and it was found. It means that directory buster can actually occur here because the PHP, which is the server, is actually exposed, so cross-site scripting can actually be possible here. And let's check for another one. Domain documentation. Sorry, let's increase it back. So domain documentation, PHP has been directly found, so we can do a directory buster here with this. So this is how to check for vulnerability within a network, within a system, and then within a server. So we can check for, so this actually helps us to check for our data. As you can see, this PHP server, this Apache is outdated 2.28. so we have the latest Apache server now. It's more than 2.28, so it's an outdated server. And also it's using Ubuntu Dev 2, which is also the PHP also is outdated. So it's all this is sharing that the open port happened as a result of misconfiguration in the firewall, also an updated server. So that's how we carry out vulnerability analysis on a network or on a system. So thank you very much, and see you in the next class. And please keep on following us on our social media handle for more inciting and enlightening cybersecurity training. Thank you. My name is Gode Ocheme. I am the founder of Ochemic. This video is being sponsored by Ochemic, a cybersecurity institute or an IT training institute, and then I am here to serve you. Thank you, and see you in our next class.